I prefer thinner crowds than the one we had last time. It's too much of. Okay, so I hope at least some of you are from the previous session, so that I don't have to go back to anyway. I will not be doing it no matter what. But I hope some of you have attended the session or at least have had a chance to look at it. Did you, let me see. Yeah, the playlist is now updated. I just checked it. So in case you have missed out on the previous session and you would like to watch it, then I think the recording is now available on the playlist. So you can, access it from that and you can see what we have done in the last class. So I'm going to continue talking and discussing about what we were doing. So I'm going to first share the worksheet with you because I think we were discussing about vowels, right? So that second question, the second exercise that we have, this one is again on vowel sounds, right? So before we talk a bit about diphthongs and consonant sounds, I would like you to finish off this one, right? And then we'll move on to the discussion on diphthongs and consonant sounds. So for this particular exercise, it's basically a matching exercise. So on your left hand side, you have a set of words, right? Now your task is to see which vowel sounds, right? On right hand side, you have all the pure vowels in English. Maybe not all of them, but whatever number of them you have here. You need to match those sounds with the word which carries those sounds. Okay, so I'll tell you the sounds. You tell me which one, which word among the list of words you have on your left hand column takes these sounds. Okay, so the first one is a. Or I'll do one more thing. Instead of just saying the vowel sound, I'll give you an alternate word which has the sound, and based on that, you can tell me which one among the list given on the screen has the sound suggested. Okay, so the first sound we have is a, and you can hear that sound in the word cut. Okay, you can watch your chat also to see which words we mean. So which word among the list that you have on the left hand side has a sound similar to that you hear in the word cut, the vowel sound that you hear in the word cut?
Ma'am, burn.
Does burn have cut? Say cut to yourself and say ka, t, and tell me if burn has that. Look at all the words. Just don't look at the first word. Look at the list of words. Read them once to yourself and then tell me which one is closer to the sound in the word cut.
Ma'am, cut.
Which one? C-U-R-T?
Yes, ma'am, cut.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Called.
Okay. So, what is the difference between cut and cut then?
Ma'am, the pronunciation of U is longer in cut.
So, okay, you're right. But then it is not similar to cut, no? I'm asking for the word which has the sound, vowel sound, which is similar to that in the word cut. So that is not cut. You are right. It has a long vowel. So definitely that is not the word which has the sound, vowel sound that we have in the word cut. So it's some other word. Which word is that?
Ma'am, I think burn.
Burn is not the answer. Again, burn is something that has a long vowel sound. Read the rest of the words you have. You have burn, you have should, you have cut, you have jest, rough, cart, just, born, beach, pitch, roof.
Rough.
Okay. Rough. Rough is one answer. Yeah. You say rough, cut. Both of them have the same vowel sound, right? F and cut. Rough. Correct. Okay. Now, any other word? Any other word which has, so one of the words that we have is rough. Any other word which sounds similar to the vowel sound in rough and cut?
Ma'am, burn.
No. Again, that also has a long vowel sound. Now, can you not hear the length? It's a minor difference, yet a relatively longer sound than the sound that you hear in cut and rough, right? Say cut and say born. It's a longer sound, right? And it's an altogether different sound. This one is an R sound and that's an O sound. So Rav is one of the
And
answer. That should be, tell me.
just.
Just, right? Just. Just is
Yes, ma'am, just.
also very similar to cut. So cut, rough, and just, they have that first sound that we have in the right hand side, the sound, right? It's a short vowel sound, it's a pure vowel. Okay. So cut, rough, and just. Okay, these all the three words have similar or same, not similar, same, the very same vowel sound in them, right? Now, the next one is a long O. Next is a long O. Which word do you think has a long O sound? This one. Let's say, as in the word coat, right? Which one sounds similar to, or which sound, which word has the same vowel sound as you hear in the word coat?
Roof.
Roof. Roof has a different vowel sound. It's an O sound, right? We're looking at an O sound. Coat. Look at the word in the chat box, coat. You don't say coot, right? You say coat.
Born.
Born. Yeah, born. Born also has the same vowel sound as you hear in the word coat. Coat. K O T. B O N. Okay, coat, born. Both have the same vowel sound, a long O sound. Next is A. The sound A as in the word pen, right? P A N, pen. So which one do you think has a vowel sound same as that in the word pen?
Jest.
Which one? Sorry.
Ma'am, just.
Jest.
Jest.
So look at those. Yeah, right. So we have two words. One is just, right, which has the sound, and then the second one is the jest, which has the a sound.
Ma'am,
Okay.
just.
Just is right. Just is right. So a, as in the word pen, can also be heard in the word jest, right? Next is the oo. Sorry, not the oo sound. Okay, let's do the oo sound first. Then oo sound, the short oo sound. Oo, as in the word cook, as you hear in the word cook. Which one has an O sound? Cook.
Should.
Okay. Should. Should is one word. Any other word which has that?
Ma'am, roof.
Does roof have a short O sound? Say cook and roof to yourself. Cook and
Sorry,
roof.
sorry, ma'am, sorry.
No, no,
It
no one is
has
saying
long
sorry.
sound,
Just
no?
check for yourself. It has a long sound. Correct. So it has a lengthy vowel. It's a long oo, right? So roof is not, doesn't qualify for this one. You have should. I think we don't have any other words. Then the one which we left out was the sound, as in the word curd. I think last time we discussed this curd, the long sound, which is the longer counterpart of the inbuilt vowel, right? Curd. Which one sounds closer to curd?
Kurt.
Yeah. Okay. Kurt. Kurt is one. So both C-U-R-T, Kurt, and C-U-R-D, curd, they have the same vowel sound, right? Curd and Kurt, right? How about, yeah, any other words that you hear, that you see here?
Ma'am, burned.
Burn. Yes, ma'am. Burn.
Burn, yes,
Ma'am, burned.
correct. Correct. Burn also has the same sound, right? So curd, Kurt, and burn, all of them have the same long vowel sound in them, right? The long counterpart of the inbuilt vowel, as you hear in the words again or ago, so on and so forth. Okay. So But before we move ahead, I just need to check for this Kurt. I have a feeling Kurt doesn't have a long vowel. Let me just check. Okay, fine. Kurt also has a long vowel. Okay. So Kurt, and burn. All the three have the long sound. Okay. Now, next one we have is the long E sound, as in the word sheep. Which word in our list has the vowel sound which sounds similar to the one in the word sheep?
Ma'am, beach.
Beach, yes, correct. Beach, yes. Any other answers? Anything else that you have in that list? Sheep, beach.
Ma'am, I don't think so. There are any.
There aren't any. Okay. Yeah. So we have beach, which has similar sound as in the word sheep. And then next sound that we're going to look at is O. The short O sound, as you hear in the word court. C-O-T, court. Court. This is the short O sound in English. So which one? Is there a word which has that sound in our list? Just check through. I don't see any. You tell me if you find anything. No, right? We don't have any. So we don't have any words that match that sound in the left hand side. But for identification, the sound is found in words like hot, pot, or, uh, you know, uh, not cold. That's a different sound. We'll discuss that later. Yeah, hot, hot, even hot, the word hot. Okay. Um, they all carry the same short O sound. But in our list, we don't have it. Okay. Then oo, I think long oo we already discussed, right? We had roof. Somebody already, I think people have already answered that. Then the next one is ah, the long ah sound, as in the word father. Which word has the sound long ah, as you hear in the word father?
Cart.
Ma'am, cart.
Yeah, cart. I think one word is cart. Anything else in the list which has a long ah sound? No, I guess, right? Nothing else. Okay, the next one you have is the okay, short sound, right, which is the inbuilt vowel. So as in the word again, again. Do we have any word which carries this sound? This we discussed last time. I told you this is the unstressed vowel in English, right? Usually all vowels in English are stressed, right? They take stress. You don't know. You will be introduced to the concept in, I think, the 8th module or so. It will be introduced. But unstressed simply means that this is something which is very feeble in pronunciation. So as you say this sound, whenever the sound appears in a particular word, its pronunciation or its articulation is like really, really feeble, right? So although I'm saying again so that you can understand it, but when you use this word, when you talk to people uh, using this word in English, usually the and the is usually not very audible, right? So it's an unstressed vowel. So it doesn't carry much of articulation power in it, which is why it's called the unstressed vowel. And this is the only unstressed vowel in English language. Everything else carries a stress. Okay. Uh, so this is the sound and we are looking for a word in the list which may have this word. Let's see if it has.
Ma'am, just.
Just already has a sound, no? That is different. This is the sound. Now, I'll tell you, I told you last time that when you say sounds like k or g, ch, j, all your consonant sounds, you cannot actually say your consonant sounds without the help of this particular sound. The last sound that you hear as you say k, g, ch, what do you hear? It's the sound, right? K. That sound is what we are discussing. The one you told me just is, it's the sound, right? It's almost closer to the first sound you learn in the Swaramala, right? The and ah. That's not what we are discussing. We are talking about the short sound, the unstressed one. Do we have any word in this list which carries that? I don't think so. I don't see any at least.
Yes, ma'am. I also don't think.
Huh. But I'll give you a few examples where you can find it. One is, of course, again, right? Again, right? So if you listen to its actual pronunciation in the English settings, it's almost like, you know, it sounds to us that, you know, the sound is inaudible. So again, right? It's not again or again or again. It's again or rise. So while I'm saying arise in the Indian English context, in the actual pronunciation style, it's only rise, go, right? When I say go again, the same thing. The first sound that you hear is this unstressed vowel sound. This also appears at the end of the words, not just in the beginning. So words like sofa, right? SOFA, usually the Indian English articulation is sofa, right? But the actual way it is said is sofa, right? So the last sound is a very feeble, very, you know, short, very unstressed vowel sound, and that is the sound. Sofa. Even at the end of words like, you know, the earlier word that we were discussing, father, right? So it's not father, it's actually father, right? That last sound that you hear, that's the sound that we're discussing now, the unstressed sound, right?
Ma'am,
Uh,
can it be in roof?
which one?
Roof at the end, roof.
Roof, no. Where in roof you have r, u, the long u and f sound, right? Yeah, inbuilt,
Ma'am,
yes. If you're asking about the inbuilt sound, yes, the last sound for,
yes,
you know,
ma'am.
to say sound.
Yes, ma'am. Fa.
Yeah, yes. With fur, it will be inbuilt. But I am talking where it is, you know, articulatorily found, like in the word again, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so these are few examples. There are also examples where you can see them occurring in between the words, plenty of them. Examples, I think, again is one example, right? So it begins with the sound, and then in between the sound g and n in again, you again have the same vowel sound, right? The unstressed vowel sound. Several of them, there are several examples in English that you can figure out. If you look at the American dictionaries, right, the Merriam-Webster and all, usually when the sound appears in a word, they put a bracket around it. If you haven't seen it, just go check online the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Some of the words which carry this sound, when they appear in the dictionary, they put a bracket around that, which means that uh, the speaker can decide whether they want to articulate the sound or not. If you want to do it without the articulation, that's also fine. But in British English, usually this one is pronounced. People articulate the sound wherever it is found. In American English, they skip it sometimes, right? In some of the words, they skip saying this sound altogether or articulating it altogether. But it's okay. Those are minor differences. We don't have to bother with that. I'm just telling you since we are anyway discussing these things, right? Just an additional piece of information. Okay, then the last sound you have here is the short E sound, as you hear in the word say kit. Kit.
Ma'am, can you give an example where it is in the between R sound?
For the sound, there are
Yes,
several
ma'am.
examples. So I think again is one example, and then let me think about it. Yeah, I can
Where it is
see something like,
only in between.
yeah. Just give me a moment. Fingerprint, right? So fingerprint is one word, and can you tell me where you hear this sound in fingerprint? Fingerprint.
Ma'am, with G finger
You know, you just tell me after which sound. That's all.
and G.
After g, right? So fingerprint. Although in writing, in spelling, you have er, but the actual pronunciation of that is a. So this sound is what comes there. Fingerprint. Okay. Then what other examples?
Ma'am, mother.
Mother is of all of those. Anywhere you see this er in spelling, this is usually the sound, right? Father, mother, brother, sister. All of them have this. The last sound is this sound. Okay. I'm looking for the one where the schwa comes in between, the unstressed one comes in between. Okay. So fingerprint is one example. Then which one can I take? Yeah, even words like this one. Let me give you this. How do you read this word? Please look at the chat. CIRCUS in English. How do you read it?
Circus.
Circus. Okay, not circus, circus. So
Yes.
the after the first sound, you hear the word the sound this is the unstressed okay, not circus, it is circus, right? So this is for people who cannot distinguish between the sound in cut, t, and then the sound that we're discussing now, right? So if it is a sound, then you should be saying circus, but we say circus, right? So it's a very light, feeble sound. It's an unstressed sound, circus. Then other examples, yeah, very famous example is banana, right? This is how we say, right? Banana. That's the Indian English pronunciation. But how do you say this? Banana. Okay. So after the first ba, you have the sound b, then na, of course, and then the last sound na, that also ends in a. Banana. Okay, not banana. Banana. Right? So these are some of the examples. Of course, there are plenty of examples. You can find them online, or just put a few, put a list of 10 words. I'm sure in that at least 3 or 4 of them will have this example there. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. So I'll now move on to the diphthongs parts. I'm just going to stop sharing the worksheet and take you to that PPT that I had, so that we can look at the sounds carefully. Okay, so now we are done with the pure vowels section. We are going to briefly move on to the diphthongs part. I'm going to take the diphthongs and consonants part together for you to save some time, right? So we have a total of 44 sounds in English, right? And out of that you have 24 consonant sounds and 20 vowel sounds. And within that 20 vowel sounds, you have 12 vowel sounds which are pure, or are also called as monophthongs. I think we looked at them last class. Monophthongs further divided into short and long vowel sounds. And then the rest of the 8 among the 20 are the diphthong sounds. Now, what are diphthong sounds? Usually the definitions, or usually the explanations given about diphthongs is that it's a combination of, 2 vowel sounds, right? So that's the easiest way to understand it, but that's not the accurate way of understanding diphthong, right? So while it looks like it's a combination, it looks like a, 1+1 combination of vowel, but that's not how it is. That's a very, very layman understanding of what diphthongs are. What happens in a diphthong is that a sound starts with a certain kind of articulation and then it ends with a different kind of articulation. So it's not about combining 2 vowel sounds together. Okay, this is not a mathematical thing that we are doing. This is about how you're articulating, right? So it's a physical attribute. It's got nothing to do with mathematics. So you, in English languages and even other languages as well, certain sounds, they begin with a certain kind of articulation and then they end with a different kind of articulation. So you can find the best definition or the best explanation for what a diphthong is that it mimics the articulation of 2 different vowel sounds. That's all. Okay. It seems like there are 2 different kinds of articulations involved in the production of these vowel sounds. Okay. Which is why the name diphthongs, not because, it's a, 1+1 situation of 2 vowels. Okay. So that's the actual way to look at it. Now, whatever the case is, it involves 2 different types of articulation of vowel sounds. That's all. Okay. So in English language, you have a set of 8 of them. Some of our languages may not be as rich in the diphthong articulation, but we still have some of them. English language has 8 diphthongs, right? So on your screen, please ignore all those things you see in between, centering, closing, ending in. That's just, people have done that. The ELT concourse people have done that to, for the ease of understanding and for classificatory purpose. But if you can just know them as such, then you don't need those classifications. But If it helps you, you can follow that chart, no problem. Okay, I'm not going to look at it. I'm just going to introduce you to the 8 diphthong sounds and then move ahead. Okay, the first sound you have here is ear, right? It's an articulation that starts with the e sound, ends with the sound, the unstressed sound, ear. So this you can hear in words like here, right? H-E-R-E. The examples are given along with them. Please take a look at them, right? Ear, that's the first sound, first diphthong sound. Then the second one is oo, oo, right? So begins with a oo articulation, ends with the unstressed articulation. And the example you have here is P-O-U-R. How do you read this? How do we say this word? We say pour, right? That is the usual pronunciation that we have in Indian English, at least, right? We say pour the water. Okay, pour it out into the jug. But the way it is said is pour, right? Pour the water, right? So this is one example. Even the other pour, right? P-O-O-R, that also has the same diphthong, pour, right? Both P-O-U-R, pour, and then P-O-O-R also, both the words have the same diphthong sound, pour, pour, okay? Then the third one you have here is the air. Air. The first sound there is an A sound, air, and that you hear in words like share, right? Share. Or what other words? Share, bear, B-A-R-E. That's also a word which carries the air diphthong, right? So ear, oor, air. So all of them, ending in the sound. That's the first three diphthongs. Then the next you have the ones that end in the E, the short E sound, which is A, I, and OE. So A, as you hear in the word day, right? It's not day. We say day, but it has to be day, right? A sound. Then comes I, right? This is straightforward. There's no much of a problem with that sound, right? It's a very common. We also have those sounds. I, prize, right? P, R, I, and S, prize. Then the next one again is something that's common in our language also, oi, right? So as in the word boy, boy. Then the last two that you have, they begin with the sound, both of, the last two of them, they end with the oo sound, right? Now these are also something that's the last one is found in our languages as well, which is au, as you hear in the word south or cow, house, so on and so forth, mouse, right? But the second last one, this is a little peculiar to English. Now, this is the diphthong that I was talking about, which behaves like the O sound in our language. So in English, you can represent the O sound in three different ways. Two of them I've already introduced to you, which were the short O and the long O sound, right? Look at this chart. The short O sound as in caught and the long O sound as in the word taught, right? The third way the O sound is expressed in English is through this particular diphthong, okay, which is O, O. So we say boat because we do not have these kind of distinctions, three different distinctions for the O sound in our language. We just have one O. So when we say the English words, we just replace the O sound. We don't show that distinction. We just use the O sound that we have in our language. So we say boat, right? But the English articulation is boat. Okay. Same goes for words like go, G-O. Okay. It's not go, it's go, right? O. This diphthong is what takes up the O in that particular spelling of the word go. Okay. Or words like no, N-O, simple words, very small words. Two sounds, a consonant and a vowel combination. The second sound, which is the vowel, is actually a diphthong in these words, right? Go, no, boat, cold, right? C-O-L-D, cold. You say cold, but the actual sound there is again what? It's a diphthong sound. The O is a diphthong sound there, cold, right? Not cold. So this is the third way. Nose, yes, correct. That's absolutely right. So it's not nose, it's nose, right? Again, nose also has the same diphthong sound. Oh, right? So keep this in mind. Whenever you get a word and you're asked to identify if it is an O sound, right? Then see if it is a long, short, and if it doesn't fit that, also check if it is a if it is this diphthong, oh, okay. Yeah, so that's about the diphthongs. Now, before we take up the question, I also want to briefly, uh, introduce you to the consonant sounds. Although consonant sounds are not very difficult, right? Except for one or two of them, which we don't have in our languages. I think most of them are straightforward. Most of these consonant sounds we have in our languages as well, right? So pa, ba, ma, va, pa, va, tha, the, all of these sounds in fact, we have more of them, right? Because we also have an aspiration plus aspiration counterpart for each of them. For example, ta has tha also, right? Ta, tha, the, the, right? You have cha, cha, ja, jha. You have ka, kha, ga, gha. You have ba and bha. But in English, at least, we don't have that situation, right? Aspiration, this additional puff of air, that is a limited, it's a quality that is only available to limited number of sounds in English. We are not discussing that now. That comes up later in your syllabus. But in general, aspiration is not a quality in English land. So you only have one set for all of that, right? But what we have in English is a division called the voiced and voiceless division, right? So every consonant sound, originating from a certain place of articulation will have a voiced and a voiceless counterpart, right? So let's look at the first one, bilabial sound. So what are the bilabial sounds we have? Bilabial is when the articulation is with the help of both your lips, right? When both your upper and lower lips are involved in articulation, we call them bilabial sounds, right? I'm not looking at the manner of articulation now. I'll come to that. Right now, I'm only discussing the manner of articulation, which is on your, left-hand side column, right? The what you call is the y-axis part, right? That's what we are looking at. So bilabial sounds involves both your lips. Labiodental, the place of articulation is what? Your lip and your teeth, right? Mostly your upper lip and your lower teeth, right? Then dental, of course, includes the teeth as the articulator. Alveolar sounds includes the alveolar palate. Now, what is the alveolar palate? Sorry, not alveolar palate, the alveolar ridge, right? So what is the alveolar ridge? That hard part right above your teeth, right? Not the gums, but the part right above your teeth, right? That is called the alveolar ridge. So if the, sound is articulated, it gets obstructed there before it's produced, then you call them the alveolar sounds, right? Then palatal is basically that roof of your tongue, the part that you see, right? You can touch it using your tongue, right? If you lift your tongue, try to touch the roof of your mouth, that roof is called the palatal sounds, right? So all these sounds, right? Sh, you can try, doing this to yourself. Sh, zh, ch, j, y. Whenever you say these sounds, there seems to be some contact with your tongue and the roof of the mouth, right? Which is why they call palatal sounds. Then velar comes from the back. So there is this articulator at the back, which is situated in the, that vocal tract. When you look at the movement of the air from the lungs, it first comes out of the lungs, goes to your trachea, then goes to your voice box, crosses your larynx, and then reaches, before it makes its journey into the oral cavity, the first thing it does is it passes either through the velum. If the velum is raised, then it goes out through the nose, right? So if the air then leaves through the nose, then you have a nasal sound. If the velum is lowered and the air has to flow out of your mouth, then it's a velar sound or oral sound, not velar sound, oral sound, right? So velum is that particular thing there. I think I can show you that in the picture we have here, the diagram. So if this is your vocal tract, then this is from where your air needs to go through the trachea. You have your vocal folds, larynx, everything here. You reach this point. This is the uvula. Uvula is that globular thing hanging from the roof of your mouth, right? We in English, we don't have uvular sounds, but some languages like the Arabic and all might have it. We are not discussing them here since they are not part of the English sounds. So after this uvula, you have the velum, right? Somewhere here, you have the velum. So when the air gets obstructed at this point, then you have the velar sounds, right? So examples include sounds like k, g, ng, right? In your chart here. So here, right? K, g, ng. This is the ng sound, right? As you hear in the words like ring, the last sound in the word ring is a ng sound, ring. Okay. So these are all velar sounds. And then glottal not very common in English, but a closer sound which which looks like a glottal in English is the h sound, right? H. H, as you know, is not a very common word in English if you look at it. But glottal is more, again, sounds like glottal are found more in some of those Arabian language, Turkish languages. Some of them have the glottal sounds more, and more well articulated glottal sounds are found in those languages. English doesn't have it much, right? It's a very rudimentary kind of a glottal sound, her sound, right? So these are your places of articulation. Now, what you see along the x-axis is what we call as manner of articulation. So this is all about the places in your oral cavity where when the air gets obstructed, you have the sounds produced, right? So these are all different, either they are organs or different physical parts inside your oral cavity where the sound is produced. This one along your x-axis, what you have is the manner of articulation, which means manner of articulation talks about the way the air flows out of your oral cavity. Okay. Place of articulation is the place from where the obstruction, at the place at where the obstruction, where the air gets stopped before the sound is produced and, you hear it. Manner of articulation is the way the air flows through the oral cavity before it is expelled out of your oral cavity for the production of the sound. So stop is the first variety, the manner in which it happens. Stop is what? When the air flows into your oral cavity and it is trapped for a very small time, a fraction of second, it gets trapped in your mouth and then it's released through your mouth with a sudden explosion, right? It's released so suddenly that it sounds almost like some kind of an explosion, which is why it is sometimes also called the plosives. Stop is the more commonly used word because of this kind of this nature of the release of air. They're also referred to as plosives in the linguistics terminology, which is why they're called stop. So p, b, ch, d, k, g, all those in that particular column you see, they're all produced with the sudden expulsion of air, the trapped air in your oral cavity. Okay. Fricatives, again, the reason we call them fricative is that when the air is released as you produce these sounds, there's a slight friction. So the air is released through a very small constriction, right? There's a very small space through which the air is released. And when it's released in that manner, there's a friction. So say, look at words like, sounds like f and v, th, the. When you have to say these sounds, you know that the air is released through a very small opening in your mouth, right? The lips or the mouth, there's only a very small opening. The air releases through that small opening, and because of that, there is a friction that you experience. So such kind of sounds are then called fricative sounds, right? Of course, combinations are possible. There is something called labiodental fricative, then there's dental fricative, right? Dental th and the are dental fricatives. Labiodental fricatives are f and v. Alveolar fricatives are s and z, right? We can make those combinations as well based on the place of articulation and the manner of articulation in which that particular sound is, produced. Then affricative, the difference is that the air is released still through a small opening, right? You see a very small opening through which the air is released, as in the case of fricative, but there's no friction, right? For example, say the sounds ch and j to yourself. Ch, j. Again, the air is released through a very small opening, right? The production of sound takes place by the release of air through a small opening in your mouth, but then there is no friction, right? Not like in the case of s, z, f, v. Here the friction is very audible. You can actually feel and hear the friction, but not in the case of ch and j, right? The release is again through a small opening, but without any friction. So we call them affricative sounds. Nasal sounds, of course, because some amount of air is released through your nasal cavity or your nose because of the lowered velum, right? So there is a nasalized quality to those sounds, right? M, N, Ng, right? A bit of an air also is released through your nose, giving it a nasal quality. So that's M, N, and Ng. Approximants, when your tongue has a free movement in your mouth or in your oral cavity as you produce the sounds, we call the sounds as approximant sounds, right? So the tongue has a free flow. The tongue is not in resting position, it has a free flow. So sounds like w, right? L, r, y, right? The tongue is relatively free as opposed to other, when you're uh, producing the other sounds. So such sounds, we call them approximants. Okay. Some of, oh, one, give me a moment. Okay. Hey, no, lower the volume, no. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so that is about the stop fricatives, affricative, nasal, and approximants. Okay, have you understood that part? Any questions on this one?
No, ma'am.
No? Right, so just know them. Of course, you are not going to be asked any detailed questions on what each of them are, but you need to know them in order to identify them in the words. Okay, so consonants are relatively simple to understand because they are distinguishable. But because we're talking about it, I should also say this particular sound that you see, right? Something that looks like a 3. Do you see this one? Palatal sound, palatal fricative. See this? This one is a sound which is unique to English, right? We don't find them in our languages. This is a little different, although in Indian English, most of the words which carry this sound, they're pronounced as sh. So people here have a little bit of a difficulty in distinguishing between the sh sound and the j sound. Okay, so I'll give you some examples for you to understand. So first one is ship, then let's say sheet, then I would say stage, then measure. Look at this 4 set of sounds. Please look at your chat box. There are 4 sets of sound here. Ship, sheet, prestige, leisure. Now, which of the sounds or which of the words have the sound sh in this? Sh.
Ship.
Ship has it? Yes. Which other words have the sh sound?
Sheet.
Sheet also has it. Correct. So ship and sheet has it. How about the last word?
Yes, ma'am. Leisure.
Okay. It has sh sound. That's my question. So you said leisure, right? So is that sound the one? Is it the one that you hear in the word ship and sheet?
A
So
little bit
did we say
different.
zip or sheet? We said ship and sheet, right? Yeah. But
Yes,
when
ma'am.
you said leisure, right? Uh, did you say leisure or did you say leisure?
Ma'am, leisure.
Leisure. So that sound is a bit different from the sh sound. And in
Yes,
the Indian English context, usually what happens is people replace it with the sh sound, right? So that's a wrong way of articulating, and it's a very how do I put it? It's a very prominently wrong articulation. Okay, it's not like your other sounds where a little bit of a aberration works, but this one is a prominently difficult sound, and it's a mistake that we usually encounter with people who speak in Indian English. So leisure and prestige is even worse because we don't even bother to use the j sound there. We straight away say prestige, right? It's the j sound for us. So again, in prestige, the G there, right? The G letter represents the j sound. It's prestige, no prestige, right? And then I think other examples, one more word is the word mirage, right? Mirage or mirage and all varieties that we have heard in our continent, but mirage, right? That's the actual way you put it. About leisure, leisure has two different varieties actually, but in both the cases you will use the j sound. In the some people would say leisure, some people would say leisure, right? Both are right. You can use either of the pronunciation. That's fine. Leisure or leisure. Just make sure that you say j and not sh, right? And also mirage and several other examples, right? So this is one distinctive English sound which is absent in the Indian languages, right? All right. I think it's better. Okay. Now, one more last thing about the consonants, which is, I think I told you about the voiced and unvoiced distinction. So, like we have the aspiration difference, the in our languages. English doesn't have that. But what English has is a voiced and voiceless, you know, uh, counterpart. So, among the bilabial counterparts of p and b, you have p as the unvoiced, or you can also call it the voiceless, right? Either of the terminology is fine. Unvoiced or voiceless, both are right. P is the voiceless one, and b is the voice. Now, what is this voicing? What do we mean by voicing? Uh, your vocal cord vibrates a bit as you say these sounds. When you say a sound is voiced, what we mean to say is that there's an additional vibration, a bit of uh, a vibration in your vocal cords as you articulate these sounds. So you can check this, say p and then say b, right? You can hold your hands at the vocal cord or on your throat, and you see as you say or as you try to articulate b as opposed to p, you'll feel a vibration in your vocal cord, right? P, B. The vibration is quite stronger when you say B, which is why you call them voiced sounds. All the places of articulations, they have the voiced and the voiceless counterpart. So for P, it is B. For Ch, it is J. F, it's V. S, Z, K, G, T, D, T, D, Sh, and J, right? So if you look at them closely, these are all those pairs, they all originate at the same place of articulation. P and B both originate or their place of articulation are the lips. Ch and J, the articulation is at the palate. F and V, it's the labiodental articulation. Sa, za, again, it is the alveolar articulation. Ka, ga, both of them, the articulation is at the velum. They are velar sounds. Cha, da, again, what are they? They are dental sounds, right? Sorry. Ta and the are dental sounds, cha and da are alveolar sounds. So all of them have the same place of articulation, but because of this additional, vibration in the vocal cord, they have a voiced and a voiceless counterparts. That's all. Okay. So this is also a very important distinction in the English language. The voicing is also important, right? No, you won't understand it now, but when you go to the grammatical level, you will see that the past tense markers, the plural markers, they are all dependent on whether you have a voice sound at the end of the word or a voiceless sound at the end of the word. So phonologically, this is an important property in English, which is why this is introduced. Okay. Okay, so that's all with discussion on this. We'll go back to the worksheet. We have one question that remains there, which we need to do. We have to finish that off. We'll do that and then we can close for today. Okay. It might take another 5 minutes, not more than that. So just stay on the call and we'll finish off this and we can wind up for today's class. Okay, so here you have a set of words here on the screen. Now, I haven't had anything put up particularly for consonants because I think it's easy to understand them. This exercise is in diphthongs, identification of diphthongs and vowel sounds again, right? Because this is the tougher part. So we'll do some of these and try and understand. What we're going to do is I will say the word. You need to tell me whether the vowel sound you hear in these words are diphthongs or pure vowels. Just that much. Okay, nothing more than that. Tell me if you hear a pure vowel sound that is a monophthong or a diphthong as I say the words. Okay. So the first word you have here is flout. Flout.
Diphthong.
Yeah, it's a diphthong. Ow, right? It carries the diphthong ow. Flout. Okay. Flout means to not obey a rule intentionally. Flout a rule. okay, which means defy a rule. Then the next one is bow. Bow.
Diphthong.
Diphthong, yeah.
Diphthong.
Again, the ow sound there. Now, I've put up some of the things closer to them for you to see how the spellings in English can be deceiving. If you're going to base your understanding of what sounds are used in a word, depending on the spellings that you see, then in English it's entirely deceptive. For example, look at the first word bow and look at the second word. Are the vowels the same? How do you say the second word after bow?
Cuff.
We say it as cough, but then mostly the word is pronounced as cough. Small, the short O sound, cough. Okay, cough. Then the last one, CUFF, how do you say that one?
Cuff.
Cuff. Right?
Cuff.
Yeah. Now look at the spellings here. Both bow and cough almost has the same spelling except for the first sound, right? Everything, spelling looks the same, right? But the first one is bow and the second one is cough. And the last one is cuff. Again, in cough, GH stood for the first sound. In cuff, FF stands for the first sound, right? So which is why I said that the English spellings are very, very, very deceptive. If you look at them and decide on the sound, then it's going to be tough, right? Okay. Next one is shell. 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 Is it a pure vowel or is it a diphthong? What do you hear here in shell?
Diphthong.
In shell? So what is a diphthong? Which diphthong do you hear in shell?
Pure.
A I.
But then I didn't say shale, no, I said shell. The sh, a, and l, shell. Does it have a diphthong? It doesn't have a diphthong. Okay, this is a word which doesn't carry any diphthong. It only has the pure vowel a, right? Shell. The next word, shale. Shale. Does this have a diphthong?
This is a
Shale.
diphthong.
Yes,
This
ma'am,
one has a
diphthong.
diphthong. Yeah? This one has the diphthong a, right? A. It has the a diphthong. Shale, as in the word day or table, right? This one also has diphthong. Okay, next one. Float. Float.
Diphthong.
Diphthong, right? And which is this diphthong? Float.
Ma'am,
That O,
O
right?
A.
And which we, correct, correct. That one stands for O, and this is the O sound that we discussed, right? The three different variations of the O sound in English, the short O, long O, and the diphthong O, right? That is this one, float. Okay, next one is bait. 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 Does it have
I
a
think diphthong.
diphthong? Huh? Yeah. So it has the A, right? The same as in the word shale, right? Bait and shale. They have different spellings, but they have the same diphthong sound. Shale, bait. Okay. So that also has a diphthong. Then bite. Bite.
Diphthong.
Diphthong, right? So the I diphthong. Then the next one, how about caught?
Monophthong.
Monophthong. This is a monophthong. So this has the O, short O sound, and this is a pure vowel or a monophthong. Correct. Boy. What boy?
Diphthong.
Diphthong.
That is a diphthong. Clear case of a diphthong. It's an OI sound, right? The end. So this is a diphthong. Now next word is an interesting word. How do you say this word?
Chore.
Yeah. So what is it?
Or
What does it carry? Is it a diphthong or is it a monophthong? How do you say it? I mean, what is the thing?
a
Diphthong.
monothong.
Chore. This is not a diphthong. This is a long O sound. Chore. right? It's not O. We don't have ow here, right? So we don't have a O diphthong. We have ow, we have O, but we don't have anything called O, right? Cho, ch, and the long O sound. So this one doesn't have a diphthong. It has a long O sound. Cho. Okay.
When
Next
we
is
will pronounce when we will pronounce it like kor or chor.
cho, cho. Okay, you need to pronounce it as cho, as in the ch and followed by the long O sound. Cho.
And
I
what
know a
does
lot of
this?
us say core. That's not core. Household chores.
What's its
Yeah.
meaning? I mean, it's a bit new.
It's an chore means some menial small tasks, right? It could be something that you do at your home or at your study or at your office. Any small, not a major one, but any minor menial tasks are called a chore. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Like I think the very famous phrase is household chore. She's busy with her household chore, which means she's doing some minor, activity, some minor work at home. That's what it means. Okay. The next one is cheer. Cheer.
Diphthong.
Thong.
Diphthong. Diphthong, right? That's a diphthong there. Okay. So ear one, right? Then there's cat. Cat.
Monophthong.
This is a monophthong, right? So cat has a pure vowel a. So cat, packet, hat. The next one is hat. That also has a the monophthong a. Next is whist. Whist.
Monothong.
Monophthong. Okay. Monophthong. The short e sound. Next is vest. Vest.
diphthong,
Which diphthong do you hear there? Vest.
A-E.
A E. That should be A, right? I'm not saying waste. It's vest.
Yes.
If
A.
it's A, then if it is A, then we should be hearing A, waste. But then this is vest.
Monothong.
Monophthong. This is also monophthong. So short A sound. Short A sound. Vest. V A st. Okay, vest. Okay. Next is coat. 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 Coat.
Diphthong.
Diphthong, right? We say coat,
Diphthong.
right? COAT is coat for us, but this is actually what the actual articulation is coat, right? Now, when we talk about actual articulation, again, because it's important to say that as well. Of course, these kind of articulation or changing the way you say it, it comes through some effort. You'll have to put some conscious effort to change it. Having said that, I would also like to say that it's not absolutely necessary to do that also, right? Particularly if you're someone who's using English only for the cause of, studies or, some kind of office communication while you're in India, it's perfectly fine. The problem arises as you decide to work abroad, right? So in particularly in context which uses English predominantly, like you go to a country, you decide to travel to a country which predominantly uses English as the major language, not just at office, but everywhere, right? Even in the social domains, you hear people or people do use the language used for English is quite high in places like that, right? If that is your plan, then it is a worthwhile effort to try and work a bit on these articulations. But if not, if your situation doesn't demand it, it's absolutely fine, right? You don't have to really work hard and say an O instead of an O. As long as your person, your friend or your colleague understands what you're saying, we're fine, right? But in the context that I mentioned, this could create a bit of trouble. So in such cases, if you wish to, you may please use them and use these instructions and make this a point that you try to make some active effort in changing it, right? Otherwise, what we speak is a part of our identity. No one has any kind of pressure on anybody to force and change the way you speak, right? It's absolutely fine, only if the situation demands. Okay. So coat has a diphthong and coat has a short O sound. And what's the last thing? Caught. This one has a long O sound, right? This I just put them up to show you the difference of how because all the three words, if you look at them, the only difference between them is that one vowel sound. Otherwise, both the sounds are same. Both have k and t, but the vowel sounds in all the three are distinctive, right? Three different vowel sounds. Okay, the next one is sand. Is that a diphthong or a pure vowel? What is it? Sand?
Actually, ma'am, coat is monophthong.
Coat is monophthong, yes.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Coat. First one.
Caught. You mean the first one is caught, last one is caught. Both of them are monophthongs with a long and a short sound in them. Okay. Coat, the first coat is the only one with a diphthong. Okay. Okay. How about sand? Sand?
Monophthong.
Monophthong, right? This is a short as sound, as you hear in hat and mat and cat and all that. Pool. Pool. Diphthong, monophthong? Pool.
Monophthong.
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 Right? Monophthong. Yeah, monophthong, long oo sound, monophthong. Pull. Next one, pull. Pull.
Monophthong.
Monophthong. Again monophthong. Send. Next one is send. Send.
Monophthong.
Monophthong. Again monophthong, right? Sir, a, n, d. Send. Monophthong. Hut. Hut.
Monophthong.
Monophthong again. The sound, short sound.
Monophthong.
Monophthong. And then the last one is coat. Coat. Monophthong, diphthong, what is it? Monophthong. So what sound is this? Is it a short O or a long O? Coat.
Short O.
Coat. Here carefully. I'm not saying cot. I'm saying coat.
Okay.
Long O, right? It's a long O sound. So this one, then this particular word in pronunciation is exactly same as this. They are two different words with different meanings, different spellings, but they have the same sounds. What are such words called? Different meanings, different spellings, same sounds. Homophones, right? Homophones. They have the same set of sounds in them, right? Although their meanings are different, their spellings are different, they have the same set of sounds. We call them homophones. Okay, all right. So I think we can wind up for today unless you have some questions. There are some additional questions for you. These are not for discussion as such, but you can think about them. Consonant clusters, I think we discussed in the last class. I don't want to take up that, but these are not necessary. These are just some questions that I put through for people to think if they want to. Any questions from what we've discussed? Keep practicing. Consonants, I don't have an exercise on them because I think it's not a very productive activity. They are very distinctive by themselves. It's not very tough to understand them also. Vowels are the ones which can create some troubles for us. So keep looking at these things. Have a list of words for yourself which you can use for comparison in the exam. But besides that, listen. Please listen to more content in English and educate yourself, right? Whether it's to improve your pronunciation, whether it's to improve your vocabulary, whether it's for anything else, right? It's even if it's just to learn the structure in English, listen to more content. Don't just, a lot of people would just advise you to read, right? A lot of people say read more. But I would say, even before you get there, please listen more, watch more content, see what's, what your internet has to offer. Please take up something that has got some minimum standards. Do not go by, useless things. Something that has a longer duration, right? Something that is at least say 20 minutes long, not like very short clips. At least something that is 20 to 30 minutes long should be enough for you. Every day, if you can listen to something like that, then you will see a very good improvement. The arc of improvement is quite better with people who can at least listen half an hour every day, right? Listen to some quality content, listen to something that is spoken and distributed in good English, right? Okay, any questions that you have? If not, then we can close for today. We'll meet next week. We'll take up the adjective adverb thing in the next class.
Hello, excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, this is the first session of my.
Huh.
Then I didn't understand what is going on because there are a lot of session is currently ongoing. Statics doubt session is already ongoing on YouTube and somewhere. So that is merging. So how I don't know what where and to join and
Then see,
what.
you take a call for yourself, Himanshu. If you think you need more help in this space, then you join us. If you think your relative requirement is higher in other courses, then you can concentrate there, because all of these sessions, whether ours or theirs, I believe are all recorded sessions, right? So even if you do not come to the live class, of course you miss out on the one-to-one interaction. That's a different case, but the discussions are not lost for you. They're in the recorded format. You can always revisit them. So about which one?
There are there are already a doubt session is ongoing on statistics at this time 4 to 6,
Okay.
and 6 to 8 is already statistics. Statistics. So my concern is how many of these classes has been left and I'm not joined.
We have had one session last week. So this is the second session for us for this particular segment.
And when is the next?
Same time, next Monday between 4 to 5. This is the scheduled time period for this session.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of confusion because there are a lot of live sessions are going on. So
Yeah, I know that the post noon sessions, the post noon area in the calendar is populated heavily for the course, because this is where most of the people like to take the session, because this is when most of the people can attend the session also. So no one takes up the morning slot and all. So you decide whichever one you think is needed for you. You can attend them live, and the rest of it you can watch the recorded session, of course.
But ma'am, I think this session is for electronics, or is it for both?
No, this is for both. English is common. The syllabus is common for all the courses, for all
Okay,
the
okay. Yeah.
programs. So it's the same.
Number is less. That's why I thought.
That happens. You will see even thinner crowd as you progress. Now that I know that there are other sessions happening, people prioritize, right? Something which they think they can manage, they would not come live. They might watch later or may not watch at all. But people who do not have any other engagements and would like to attend, they come, because these sessions aren't mandatory. So they take a call by themselves whether they should attend or not. I don't think last week there was this clash. So there were more people. Now, this time that you have a doubt clearance session going on, of course, a lot of people would migrate to that. I mean, in the sense the crowd gets divided. That's the point.
In electronics, there is not a clash.
In electronics, they do not have. Okay, again, that's what I'm saying. This depends. We let people make that call for themselves. No one forces. If you feel like you want to attend, people come attend, right? This is the story every semester. So there's a handful of people who are regular. Most of them just, they come once in a while when they have time. Okay. All right. If you don't have any other questions, maybe I think we can log out for today. We'll meet next week.